In the ancient land of Egypt, the children of Israel groaned under the heavy hand of Pharaoh. Their lives were bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. Pharaoh, fearing their growing numbers, had decreed their oppression, turning a once welcomed people into a nation of slaves, their cries for deliverance rising to the heavens. A man named Moses, sent by God, came to stand before the mighty Pharaoh. With his brother Aaron at his side, he delivered a divine ultimatum. "Let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness." But Pharaoh, his heart filled with pride and disdain, scoffed at the demand. Who was this God that he should obey his voice to let Israel go? He knew not the Lord, nor would he release them. Instead, he increased their burdens, a cruel and dismissive response to a warning he failed to comprehend. The warnings, however, did not cease. They took on a terrifying form. At Moses' command, Aaron stretched his rod over the waters of Egypt, and the great Nile, the lifeblood of the kingdom, turned to blood. The fish died and the river stank, yet this was only the beginning. Soon a plague of frogs swarmed from the defiled waters, covering every inch of the land, from the palace chambers to the humblest homes. The air became thick with gnats and then swarms of flies, each plague a testament to a power far greater than Pharaoh's own. Yet with each new affliction, a stubborn pride took root in Pharaoh's heart. He would call for Moses, promising to let the people go if the plague was removed, only to go back on his word the moment relief came. He saw the distinction God made between the Egyptians and the Israelites, whose lands were spared. But instead of seeing a sign to be heeded, he saw it as a challenge to his authority. His heart hardened, a self-inflicted blindness to the escalating disaster that was consuming his kingdom. Time and again, Moses returned to the obstinate ruler. He warned of a grievous pestilence upon the livestock, of boils breaking forth upon man and beast, and of a devastating hail mingled with fire that would shatter everything in its path. Each warning was more dire than the last, a chance for repentance offered before judgment fell. "Let my people go," Moses pleaded, but his words fell on the deaf ears of a king convinced of his own invincibility. The sky then turned black, an oppressive darkness that could be felt, plunging Egypt into a terrifying 3-day blindness. This was the final warning before the ultimate sorrow. In the dead of night, a cry of anguish echoed through every Egyptian home, for the last and most terrible plague had come to pass. The firstborn of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh on his throne to the firstborn of the captive in the dungeon, was struck down. The ignored warnings had culminated in a night of unbearable loss and national grief. It was only then, amidst the sound of weeping that filled his land, that Pharaoh's defiance shattered. He summoned Moses and Aaron by night and finally conceded defeat. "Rise up and get you forth from among my people," he commanded, his voice trembling with grief and fear. The Israelites were released, but the cost of Pharaoh's stubbornness was etched forever in the history of his nation, a stark reminder that when warnings are ignored, the price of defiance is devastatingly high.